Drinking wine, it's not necessarily what you think of when you think of the Upper Peninsula, but this morning Ansley Watson is at Northern Sun Winery where they're trying to change that. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. We got out of the car this morning and you could just smell the aroma from the grapes. It's a gorgeous morning. Here with me, Smitty is the wine dog. She kind of just left me, but she will be joining us throughout the morning as well because she is going to be helping us show how they make their wines here. We're going to go out to the vineyard and then we're going to go out to the wine cellar to check out some of their award-winning wines. So it's going to be a great morning. Stay with us. Reporting live in Bark River, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
River bark is what the dog does when she goes down there, so it's okay.
I got the barking in my mind.
She's been sampling the wine,
Thanks, Ansley. Well, it does happen, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But I know what she means. I've driven past vineyards, and there is something about the smell of those grapes on the vine, and you go past and go, wow, that smells really good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they have to offer. Ansley may have already checked it out this morning.
Yeah, she actually texted me this morning, and she was like, is there something special with the moon this morning? Because it is beautiful. And so we are seeing a full moon this morning.
We're in Northern Sun Winery is located in Bark River. They make their wines from grapes they grow in their vineyard. This morning, Ansley Watson is there telling us more about how they put it all together. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. It is a beautiful morning out in the vineyards here. Like I said, you can smell the grapes on the vines. Here is Smitty, the wine dog. I was telling you about her earlier. She didn't want to sit still, but now she's joining us. And also co-owners Dave and Susie Anthony. Thank you so much for being with us.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
So you guys said that this vineyard was kind of a distant dream back in the day, but now it's here. You guys have it. How did the story begin?
Probably just with planting to see if we could grow grapes back about 17 years ago. We had made wine, basement wine for ourselves, and we thought it would be fun to grow some vines. And we did. We started to succeed after a lot of learning. It was a big learning curve. And then after we did succeed, we learned that universities were saying you can't grow grapes in the UP. Well, we got lucky. We're in a microclimate here. We're probably the best spot, maybe in the UP, by accident. So we've succeeded based on dumb luck, but we've got here with a lot of work, and 17 years later, it was tough to believe we did.
You did. And how many acres of land are we on here?
The farm is about 40, but we're grape-wise, we have 5.5 acres planted, and that produces, this year I'm thinking between 15 tons, maybe more than that.
Really? And you harvest once every fall time?
Right, once every fall. And I should point out that 15 tons for 5.5 acres is more than the average because we have a whole acre where we have double plantings. It's a European approach, and we did it because we have a vine that has a requirement to be pollinated. Most grapes are self-pollinating, this one doesn't. So as a result, we have a bigger harvest.
Wow. What types of grapes do you have here?
The primary plantings are La Crescent and Marquette, which are developed by the University of Minnesota. One red and one white. Both of them wonderful grapes. They're becoming the state of the art for wine in the East United States. In addition to that, we have two other whites, Brianna and St. Pepin. And we have another red that we make a varietal wine out of called Léon Mio, which is a French hybrid. And then we have two old standard reds that we blend in the field blend for our rosé, and that's Baco Nior and Dichonac.
Right behind us, I know, they're younger vines, correct?
Right. These were planted, this was originally a driving area for the tractor and getting through. And we put another row, there's room here, so we put another row in about maybe 7 years ago. So these are young vines.
And then how much longer do we have to wait until these grapes will be ready to harvest?
The Marquette, this is a Marquette vine, it's a red vine. These will be the last. The red we like to leave on the vine as long as we can. The more sun and hang time they refer to it as, the more you get the key to red wine is in the skins and in the color. and the anthocyanins and the tannin and those things are what give red wine its character.
I know Susie was telling me it takes about, what, 5 years before the grapes on the vines are fully ready to be used for the wine?
Correct, yeah. We let our vines develop for 5 years before we let them produce grapes. That way it puts more energy into the vine itself. And then after that, we do let the vines produce grapes. And then we want the production to go into the grapes and not into the vine, or the energy from the plant.
So that's 5 years from planting to a crop,
Okay.
Right.
or to a bottle, because that means that we allow the 4th year the vine to fruit, but it takes a year for that fruit to become wine. So the 4th year we do allow fruit, then that's a year.
Okay.
So when you're planning to do a vineyard, you have to plan. In the UP, you're planning 5 years out.
Definitely. What a process. Well, stay with us because in a while we're going to be checking out the wine cellar and see how it's made. Thank you guys. Reporting live in Bark River, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
Thank you very much, Ansley. You're doing a great job this morning. And we're getting ready for the day, you know, between the heat
Welcome
and the...
back. Winemaking is a true art, and like many things, practice makes perfect. Northern Sun Winery has been making wine for years, and this morning, Ansley Watson joins us there to tell us a little bit more about how they do it. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Sam. So we were just out exploring the 5.5 acres of land with the grapes. Now we're in the wine cellar where we're going to see the process of how they make their wine here at Northern Sun Winery. So thank you so much for being with us, Susie and Dave Anthony. It's been a great morning.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for being here today.
No problem. So harvest time, you said it's in the fall time, September through October, correct?
Correct.
And how many grapes do you guys usually harvest during that time?
Well, this year we expect to be harvesting about 15 tons of grapes. It's a phenomenal growing year, so we're really excited.
And it could be more than that. It could be 18 tons plus this year.
Really?
So volunteers, get ready.
I'm guessing from year to year, it's got to change, especially weather-wise.
Right. And you pick up a bottle of wine, you see a vintage year on there. That's indicative of the conditions of that year. So every year is a little bit different, both in production scale and the quality of the production.
Interesting. So walk us through, you bring the grapes down here, then in the cellar, then what happens?
The grapes come in and they get put into the destemmer and crusher. That machine crushes the grapes, basically breaks the skin so they start the fermentation, releases the sugars, and then they fall into the second part of the machine where they're destemmed. And during the destemming process, the grapes shoot out the other end of the machine. They're collected and we take them out. The crushed grapes fall into the bin here. And if they're a white grape, they immediately get put into the press. And the press then fills, there's a bladder inside that fills with water and presses the grapes against the stainless steel sieve. And the juice then runs off. It's collected in a bin, a stainless steel bin that's fairly good size, with a pump apparatus on it. And I should say pump connections, and then we pump the white juice immediately into one of the big tanks that has a cooling jacket.
And that's what's right behind us now?
Right, right. So when the white wine juice is put in here, we try to keep the temperature between 55 degrees and 58 degrees so that we maintain that fruity freshness of a white grape. When the red grapes come in, we do it much different. They get crushed, they get destemmed, and they fall into this bin or a bin like it, and then they are either moved to a big tank or kept in the bin. But rather than try to preserve that fresh fruitiness, we allow the temperature to rise, and we give the skins, we leave the wine, at that point it's juice, we leave the juice in the bin with the skins, And as the fermentation occurs, it starts to extract the alcohol and the heat extract from the skins the chemicals, the chemistry that make red wine so special.
Wow, so you guys have a batch in here right now. When will that approximately be finished?
Well, right now, there's pretty finished. We're just
Okay.
we're prepping it for bottling now. So the preparation process means that we have to filter, refilter, and then within a few weeks, we'll start this week on the whites, but then we'll start on the reds also. And that's usually a full day process where we have to set up special pumps and organize for the filling of the bottles, the corking of the bottles, and then we take the cases out and put them in the cellar.
What a process. Well, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. It's been so great.
Thank you.
Reporting live in Bark River, Ansley Watson, and we'll be back with more of your TV6 Morning News after the break.